it. Okay, I think we're live now. I think that's good.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, if people can see and hear us, hello, let us know that everything is going well, but I think we should be good. I haven't been having any problems in a while. It looks like we have some people watching, so there is like a slight delay in the comments coming in here from YouTube. So we'll give people a minute to comment and say that they can hear us before we get into the what are we doing and who are we? Because, like, I don't know. Okay, we
Any
have a
other
Jonathan.
questions people have?
Yes. Okay, I see Jonathan, I see Greg, I see Magpie. Hello, people. Hello. Okay, so presumably you can hear us and we sound okay. If anything seems weird, let us know. Hola, Nemo. What are we doing? Who are we? Okay. Hi. I'm Madeline. I'm just here as a student learning things that I don't know. I'll let you introduce yourself, Jake. Who is this stranger that we have on the
Hi,
stream?
I'm Jake. I co-run Let's Have a Booba, which is a conlanging live stream with Miles. We're kind of like Lang Time Studios, if you know what David and Jesse do on their channel, but a lot less professional. And yeah, I I'm more of a I'm more trained in language learning than linguistics. But thank you, Nemo. Um, and one of the kind of one of the hallmarks of Let's Have a Booba is tone. So I'm quite excited to share some of the marvelous mysteries of tone with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a vibe. Just so that everyone has a little bit of concept of my background. I think this is like the third IPA class time stream I've done. I did the first two with Ross, and we went over IPA characters and, or I guess the plemonic consonants and vowels. I think is what we did. Something about that.
Yeah, you've done consonant,
And
you've done vowels, and now it's
uh
time for the secret third level.
toads. And I'm curious what even is going to be after that. I don't know.
There is more.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
not even worry about that yet. One day I'll think about that. Maybe that'll be at the end of this stream. We'll see. But my experience with tones is like far less than consonants and vowels, given that like I at least use them normally, whether or not I understand how to make little symbols and how they all work together. My experience with tones is probably just in like watching a lot of TV that's not in English, that's occasionally in tonal languages. Not that I obviously have any knowledge of how to speak or understand them, and I just hear them, and that's where we're starting. So if you're there, then we're there together.
I'm ready to take you from person who hears tones a lot to person who can roughly work out what the tones are doing. And just
Okay.
roughly, you don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
You don't need to know everything.
Oh, we have a kitty watching the stream. All right.
Yeah, Jonathan's been cat sitting recently, so they've had
Uh,
a different selection of cats to regular.
I like it. That's fun.
Lavuna is a regular watcher of Let's Have a Booba, as far as I understand.
Yeah. Hello, Aaron. Okay. So, do you want me to put your presentation up now?
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
the presentation going.
Okay. Which button had I clicked for that? This one? Whoa, that's not it.
Oh, it's on the other
That's
side
not it
now.
either. That's not it.
Wow,
Where'd it
funny.
go? I feel like I had a better one earlier.
I feel
Nope.
like
I'm very confused at where it went.
I feel like we before we were on the other side, but I'm not, and now I'm
I
doubting that was ever
know we
true.
were. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna move us.
Exciting.
Okay. Has it changed for you at all?
No.
Okay, okay. It'll change in a moment.
It
Boom.
changed.
Okay. I also like how the coloring and the font you have matches the little labels on our little thing in StreamYard. It looks very cohesive.
I'm glad. It's just Noto Sounds because I needed all the diacritics today. So be ready.
Oh gosh, okay.
Okay. So, what is tone? Tone is the use of pitch to convey grammatical information or distinguish words from each other. Consider the following. You ate that, and you ate that?
Mm-hmm.
So the only real differences in that, I would say, is well, the biggest one is pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we call this intonation. Also, if I move my mouse across the screen, are people seeing that? Or
No,
no? Okay,
I see
I will
nothing.
carry on and not worry about bothering people. Um, so that's intonation, and that bit. Oh yeah, Jonathan saying you ate that is also a valid intonation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, basically all oral languages use this. Um, sign languages don't use like uh, they don't use sound as a medium. So, but there is also sign language prosody, as far as I'm aware. Prosody is like the the biggest umbrella, and then under that you have intonation and tone and stress, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a little bit of overlap between stress and tone. I
Okay.
feel like my visual representation, I think it worked, but I don't think it was the best. But we'll see. So, how does the IPA represent tone? And the answer is that there are multiple. Um,
Joy.
so there's two main ways that you can represent tone, and then there are a bunch of diacritics that I'm not going to teach you because, in reality, I've tended to stick with languages that I am at least vaguely familiar with,
Fair.
and I I like I started looking for examples that could teach you how to use the other symbols, and it really wasn't going well for me because I couldn't work out what was going on. So please, anyone watching this isn't coming from a place of me being like a proper expert on something. This is from like an enthusiastic amateur.
Love it.
Um, the other thing is that um, so we haven't covered stress really either with you. Ross didn't
Mm.
cover that either.
No.
Um, but stress has basically one typical uh, representation, and it's just like a little line that goes in front of the vowel.
Okay.
Um, and languages vary in how this stressed syllable um, surfaces. So in some languages, stress is about volume. So, and then other languages, it's pitch. In English, we use both at
Mm-hmm.
the same time. So for us, like a stressed syllable is just bigger, or like it's just really strongly accented in every way possible. Well, not every way possible. There are things we don't do, but with tone, it's a lot more specific, and so you'll see as we go through the examples that basically there's like a lot of different things.
Oh boy.
Yeah, back to intonation. So I'm starting here, and I probably could have gone more into intonation in English just to properly ground you in something. But I thought I said we're doing tone, so we're doing tone. And for why can't I remember his name? For Greg, we've got some clicks. The clicks are on screen. Do not worry. So these lines, the single line and the double line, are minor and major breaks. You can basically just use them to refer to different lengths of pauses. If you are transcribing a long kind of section of someone saying something, you can use this to represent gaps between words and things. But in general, a lot of the time, I don't see people really using them. I think for conlanging, the detail isn't necessarily all that useful there. They also look really similar to what IPA uses for dental and lateral clicks. So the dental click I will attempt is like ah ah, and the lateral is like ah ah. So this lateral one is like in isikosa. So that's the X there. Unless you want to conlang with clicks, and as someone who has been trying to conlang with clicks for a little while now, I can say it is very difficult. Anything that uses the historical method, which is what we use at Let's Have a Booba and in what David and Jesse use, clicks are really hard because we don't really have that much information about their history. So coming back to intonation, you see these up and down arrows. So this arrow here is how you would represent the kind of rising tone we use in English for asking questions. So if I want to, the easiest thing is I don't know if I intentionally try and say a question how my intonation will be because I'm consciously doing it. So let me see if there's a question in chat and I'll try and just read it. Oh yeah, we've got the examples of prosody. So what did Laguna eat, Jonathan? I think the other thing is that one of the big differences with autistic people's speech is that their prosody tends to not be super similar to what other people use. Is everything okay?
It was just I don't know if you heard it, but there's just like a really loud like peal of thunder out of nowhere, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I could hear it. Yeah.
Okay. It's apparently storming now.
The gods are angry that you're learning the dark ways of tone.
Apparently.
So some people say like tonal languages tend to be it can feel like singing to some people. But if you're speaking a tonal language naturally, you can expect really for the tone to be within the natural range that you would use in speaking like English as well.
Okay.
So like a high tone like in really, like the really, like that
Mhm.
e is actually quite high in terms of tone, but you can also recognize that if you say it, you'll probably have a higher absolute pitch than
Mhm.
I will, right?
Okay.
Um, and then I'm trying to think of where in English we have like really low pitch. Like I feel like when people say I don't know, like if you
Yeah.
have that kind of falling tone, like you end up in like a or like e or.
Mhm.
So you can hear that there is like this range that we speak within,
Mhm.
and you're not aiming to go too far outside of the range. When I
Okay.
learned Korean, I used to use a much higher register in Korean than I did in English, and that does happen a lot. It's like different languages will have slightly different ranges. So like I think French is often spoken with slightly higher high pitch, high tone than English.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Okay.
how are you feeling at this point?
I feel like it's like a few things are clicking with me. Like part of me is like, oh, like so it's more like relative to like your own normal like
Mm,
speaking that versus it being like notes on a scale. Like, okay,
yeah,
well, if you say this word, that's a B flat. Which part of me was like, oh, maybe that's how it works. I don't know. And you have
that's
to either pick an octave to. I don't know.
if you try and speak Steffa orally, I think that would be how that works. Steffa is a musical language that Jonathan has made. So
Ah,
um, their language actually does, I think, use specific notes on a scale.
okay.
But
Because I was
the
thinking, like,
tonal,
what about people who are tone deaf? Like, how are they going to speak one of these languages?
that is a thing. I think that you also see in so I think there's more research done on Chinese than most tonal languages, simply
Mhm.
because the most widely spoken language in the world by native speakers is Mandarin Chinese, right?
Mm.
So we know that it's not a niche thing. Um, but some people are simply better at telling these things apart than others.
Mhm.
In the same way that we know in language development that the trilled R is one of the last things to come in for children who learn Spanish, and for
Mm.
all languages with the trilled R. So I can't produce a trilled R, um, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be considered unusual for people to struggle and to have to learn how this
Mhm.
works later on. Although I don't know exactly when it comes in relative to other stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but there are studies of like like stress deafness in people learning other languages with different stress patterns. And that's
Mm.
very interesting as well because um, if you have a fixed stress, then people tend to struggle to identify changeable stress. But if you speak a language with changeable stress, it's easier for people to pick up on different stress.
Mhm. 'Cause you're used
Even,
to listening to that
yeah.
differentiation. Okay.
So I feel like when you were learning with Russ, it was just like typing into this huge table, and it was just all there on screen. And this is like I feel like I've gone probably too far into the formal end.
I mean, we're just here. We're having a good time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
learn some stuff. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. So don't worry about memorizing. The thing is, I don't even think it's that hard to memorize, right? And maybe I also like I just learned IPA seemingly for fun from like
Mhm.
YouTube videos. So I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best person to judge how easy or hard these things are.
Yeah.
Um, the extra high and extra low, let's not worry about them for now.
Okay.
So
That they have a pattern to them though,
yes,
like,
yeah, there is a regular pattern. So the acute
I
accent,
I like
the
that.
thing that you have to keep in mind is that they aren't going to make the diacritics like relative to the vowel. No, that I feel like that's a silly way of putting it. But like the way I always think of it is that the end of the line is
Mhm.
the tone. So for the
Ooh,
high tone, it's like it's going up, but it's a flat tone. That's the thing that makes this representation a little bit annoying is that we'll show you how pinyin works in a bit. But
okay.
if you imagine it as a line and you're following the tone, it's going to go wrong, basically. So
Okay.
you don't look at it and go, so this is pronounced eh.
Mhm.
So it should be eh, eh, eh for high, eh, mid, eh, low, eh. I feel like I'm not doing it well, and this is the big problem is that without examples, I think it's really hard to like to know
Just, like,
if
pick
you're doing it right.
I can hear
Um,
the difference, so I mean, that
yeah.
tracks for me.
And then so the extra high, they're just like we'll take the high tone and we'll double it. So
Mhm.
like eh, and then the extra low, they're like eh, eh.
Okay.
So I want you to like just try and like give it a go, and we'll like the people are feeding back, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
also it's gonna feel really strange, and I think it's nice to do it in a class environment because you're learning and this is a process.
Yeah. Yes, and no one's
Yeah.
expecting me to actually be
Yeah,
good at
you're
it.
not gonna get it right the first time, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the mid one should just be at, like, my normal like, what
And
I would consider, like, my
also,
mid-range?
if you want to just pick a random English word, you could just say that with different tones if you wanted, as long as it's
I
like
feel like
one syllable.
I feel like you did it with just the sound, so I should copy that.
Okay.
Okay. So, if I start in the middle, which is just like, "eh," right?
Hmm.
Then it would be like, wait, eh,
Yeah, that
would be
was
high?
good for high.
Okay, and then lower would be like, eh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, just getting your high and low right is going to be a really
Mhm.
good start. So, eh.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds really silly, but you just have to go with it.
Okay. Do you want me to try that?
Hmm.
Okay, so, eh.
I think if like one of the things with English mouth posture is we
Okay,
tend to speak with our mouths quite close. Whereas
okay,
if you let your mouth like if you let your jaw relax, like
okay.
then
So,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, so that's a lot clearer.
Okay.
So I think that like a lot of like helping your mouth posture
Mhm,
can also help with just producing the vowels more clearly because you
mhm.
have more like space for it to kind of get out of the mouth. So
Okay.
these 5 levels are attested. it was considered like um, impossible. Maybe impossible is the wrong word, but it was considered unlikely that people would be able to distinguish all these different levels. But basically, we have the first one they found was trique, which is spoken in Mexico, and these guys, I think they're both guys. I think I checked this. Edmondson and Gregerson, like
Mhm.
they wrote this whole paper about 5 level tonal systems, and
Mhm.
Shidong Khan, which is spoken, I think, in Northeast India, um, like they also have all of these 5.
Okay.
Um, David always brings up this thing that most languages only have 2 or 3. This is a map from Walls, um, which you can access online. There's a link. I mean, I feel like a lot of people know what Walls is. Do you know what Walls is? Have you looked at Walls?
I have no idea
It
what that
sounds
is.
really strange. Like, have you looked at a wall? Um, okay, it's basically this like online typology database, and they can show you these maps that have all of these features kind of mapped out, basically. So
Oh.
yeah, like if you're interested in a topic, it's a really nice place to start, particularly for konangers, because yeah, thank
Mm.
you, Jonathan. Like you've got like um the ability to see like which languages would be good to look into if you're interested in a certain
Mhm.
feature and which ones wouldn't. Um, so I thought for the longest time that this map had they call the ones in pink simple tone systems, and I thought that meant 2 or 3 for a really long time,
Mhm.
because if you start off learning Mandarin and you're like, oh, 4 tones, easy, like very basic, and then someone tells you like, actually, if you look at this map, you can see lots of these cases. They're just 2 tones,
Okay.
so there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, as Magpie says, a lot of these are wrong. um, so you can see Korean on there.
Mhm.
And it's in white for atonal. I'm
Mhm.
gonna tell you the truth. Like that would be the clickbait title: "The Truth About Korean."
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so the general rule for the simple ones is that if there are only 2 tones, it will be either high and low or high and zero. And
Mm.
a zero tone is essentially the equivalent of something being unmarked. So it's not really you have to be really careful with saying like something doesn't exist in linguistics, because if you're referring to the lack of something as like a stable object, it really like starts to mess with the logic of everything.
Mm.
But in general, a zero tone will be pronounced as a low tone, but it behaves differently to a low tone.
Okay.
Um, and here we go. So if you know that there's a high versus low contrast, you're going to get both marked in your IPA. So you'll be able to see it like when you look at the way a word is described. And when you see it romanized, you'll usually have one tone which is written in. So quite often for Langtime Studios and Let's Have a Booba, we'll just use an acute accent for high tone. And if there
Mhm.
isn't an accent, then it's effectively low tone.
Okay.
Um, when high tone is contrasted with 0, it's not going to be written in as in your IPA forms, and it's definitely not going to be put in for your romanization. Basically, it wouldn't make any sense. I mean, unless it contrasted with something else that was better. No, there's no way that you would write in something if you also have a 0, like that you wouldn't write the other one anyway. Moving on. The other big difference is that low tones are good at doing things, because if something is there, then it can do stuff. So high tones and low tones have more interactions. Whereas if you have a 0 tone, they can't stop anything because there's nothing there to stop the high tone. And it can't really move because there's nothing there to move. So if you're like, this is also kind of Jake advertises conlang with tones to Madeline.
I mean,
so that's the main difference there. So our first example, and I think this is, I'm sorry, everyone at home. Then this is, I think, the only North American example I'm going to show. I'm just not that educated on it, and I wanted to speak about stuff I knew. So, are you ready for reading some more IPA?
Okay. Yeah.
So, first of all, if you look at the word, what do you recognize and what don't you recognize?
In terms of like the sounds of things?
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about Q, W, or L being different than the normal sounds. I see the high tone marker on the A. I don't remember what the little dudes are, but I assume those are like syllable separators or some sort of break.
Okay. So the Q is uvula. So it's like ka, ka. So it's if you make a K sound like k k k, and then you do like the A from like going to the dentist, like ah, and you then try and say the K like ka 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 ka
Caw, caw,
ka ka ka.
caw.
That really far back K sound is what this is.
Okay.
And so it's the back of your is like right before the throaty bit of the mouth. I'm obviously not an anatomist either. Like the throaty bit.
I mean, me neither. If you said the actual official term, I'd just be in my head like, is that the 30-bit part? So, I mean, we're just removing a level of confusion here.
Yeah. So, the W is like in English, okay, this A sound is like, I don't think it's not hard for me. And so when you say hola, you say
Hola.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the A always sounds like basically. It's not and it's not Those have different letters that don't look like Latin letters. It's always So this is, well, do you want to try first or do you want me to say it first?
You're in charge here. I'm just vibing.
You try first and then we'll see.
Okay.
And the L is the same, is like in English, basically.
Okay. So would it just be like, so it starts with the like hot, so hua,
You can just use
hua,
a K if it's easier. But you
hua,
can try.
hua, hua.
Oh, and the two dots, the triangles, they make the vowel long. So this is
Qual.
another thing that you're learning from the IPA that isn't tone that I
Okay.
couldn't avoid.
Sneaky
So
bits. Qual. Qual.
yeah, qual,
Qual.
qual, and it's high tone,
Qual.
right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Qual.
Qual. Qual.
Yeah, and then the low tone,
Qual.
qual,
Qual.
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 I
I feel
so
like I'm
if
doing,
you
like,
do
a
your
this
high
thing.
tone a bit higher, I think that
Okay.
you would make the difference clearer.
Okay.
And also, if your qual is higher than mine, because I think you're being a bit tame, because I know that going really high sounds silly, but especially if you're when you ask people to elicit these distinctions, I think
Mhm.
usually it's the gap is bigger.
Okay.
When people speak normally, they'll like make it smaller. But yeah,
Okay.
like um I think I think like moving on, this is going to be easier for you to pronounce.
Okay.
So this is Aguaruna, also known as Alahun. Um, and this is a Chicham language from Peru. And so Aguaruna is the overall previously described the language as pitch accent. And um, basically, it's kind of a controversial term because loads of people want to do things that they think are called pitch accent,
Mm.
but there's so many things that have been called pitch accent that the word basically doesn't like the term doesn't mean anything concrete.
Okay.
So what do you notice when you okay, first of all, do you recognize the bit between the U and the I?
I remember this thing, I think, is the sound, like SH kind of
Mm-hmm.
sound,
Yep.
and a T is a T?
Yep. So what happens if you pronounce the T and then the SH sound? Yep. So it's like a ch
Okay.
sound.
Okay.
So it's kuchi versus kuchi,
Kuchi? Kuchi?
kuchi, or
Kuchi?
kuchi, kuchi. And also, I know it looks really silly, but doing the hand thing can really help. Although
Okay.
it's a bit of a crutch because you do see people who learn tonal languages, and as soon as they start to speak, their hand starts like flapping around because they're like it becomes very natural.
Okay.
So
So
it's I feel like you were gonna say it, and then I stop speaking, and then you stop.
I don't know. I don't know. So is it like the whole syllable that gets raised, or is it or higher pitched, or is it just the vowel sound?
So okay, that's a good question.
Okay.
Um, there's the thing that holds the tone is called a tone bearing unit, and a tone bearing unit is dependent on the language itself. So I know from this that the tone bearing unit is um, it's called a mora. So a mora is basically what you call it when a the tone bearing the thing that can hold the tone is basically um, smaller, usually smaller than what's considered a syllable. And
Okay.
I've got an example of that right next.
Okay.
So
So I'll worry
so we'll
about that
see.
later.
In this case, yeah, in this case, it's just the vowel. That's the
Okay.
easy one for this specific example. But
Okay.
like if you want to feel that you're putting the high tone into the K and the low or into the ch sound,
Mm.
then like I wouldn't worry about it. So it's
Okay.
kuchi versus kuchi.
Okay. Okay. So, kochi, kochi.
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay.
You've got it.
I didn't bring treats this time. Oh no.
And when you look at it, what do you notice compared to the previous example?
There's no of these guys.
Yeah, there's no long vowels,
Okay.
and there's also no low tones.
Right.
So you can see that this is a language where the distinction is between a high tone and a zero,
Okay. Yeah.
rather than between high and low.
Okay.
So here we go.
Oh
What
no.
happens when two vowels come next to each other? So this is the transcribed the way it is in the book.
Okay.
So um, so these dots are separating the mora basically,
Okay.
but the syllable is a K with a long A. So kapi.
Okay.
So you have kaapi and kaapi. But
Uh-huh.
there's no when I'm saying that, I'm using like a glottal stop, right?
Mhm.
To separate the first A and the second A. But there's no gap.
Right.
So I want you to try and say it with the separation, and then I'll show you what happens next.
Okay. So, kaapi, kaapi.
Yeah. And
Okay.
there's no accent on the P. So if this was like the surface form, then you would expect it to be kapi rather than
Okay.
kapi.
Okay.
But
Seems like that.
that process of the high tone carrying on is actually very common in a lot of natural languages.
Mm.
So because this is effectively a zero, you can say that the high tone spreads onto the syllable.
Mm.
However, that's not what happens. We get more diacritics. So
Oh.
um, the remember what I said about you start where the end of the accent mark is?
Mm.
So the way I think about this one is the first one is a falling tone. So it's
Okay.
ka, ka,
Okay.
and you're following the top or the bottom of the accent, and then you do the second half of the accent.
Okay.
But it's also effectively, if you take the up accent for high tone, followed by the down accent for low tone, it's basically a high
Mm.
tone plus a low.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one is carb, carb, carb.
Okay.
So you try saying them, and then I'll show you the another secret. There's more secrets and
Oh
surprises.
boy. Okay. So the first would be like copy.
So we're looking at the one in white, right?
Uh-huh.
So the thing in gray, the kaapi,
Uh-huh.
is the underlying form. The
Right.
one in the square brackets that's always really how it's actually pronounced.
Okay.
So it's K A, it's a long A, and it's ends with a P.
So
So
the okay.
cap, cap.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hello, tiny puppy. Are you scared of the storm? Okay. One of my dogs has decided to sneak in here. That's fine.
Ah.
Okay, so the first one would be cup. I feel like I didn't come down very far there.
You can just
Cup.
try again. You've
Okay.
not lost anything.
Okay. So cup. Cup.
Yep, that was good.
Okay. Okay, wait. Come here, Pin Pen.
Oh, okay.
I've been demanded to show Tiny Dog.
Hello.
She's little and doesn't like storms.
Same, although I'm not that small.
Go lay down.
So you can see that like this is like the prototypical structure of how these tones work. Oh no, cat's here. Like a native speaker alert. so yeah. This is how they actually this is how the lines look if you record someone saying these. So basically from left to right is time. This is a very bad chart. Like you couldn't publish this. So you can see that like the first one is like ka, and it's kind of starts high and it has a nice gradual going down. Whereas the rising one, it actually starts about the same level and it dips and then it comes up again and then it goes even slightly higher to where the ka starts.
Okay.
So it's like ka, ka.
Okay.
I want you to try it, but I also want you to remember if you don't get this right, it doesn't matter because this is only true for this language.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I wanted to say. I think I have a slide about this next, but anyway, just try.
Okay. So cup and cup.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
So you can see that like just because you represent your tones in a certain way with diacritics, it doesn't mean that you can't be more specific when you're describing them. And it's one of the big things that conlangers, I think, don't always do that they could do better, is that having things that are more specific for less specific IPA is a better way to go for people being able to read your language easily. Whereas if you do really specific IPA and then you never tell anyone how it sounds in writing or description, you're going to lose people.
Or if you don't tell anyone how to pronounce anything ever.
Well, I think that you tell people in like the very English way of like, oh, like it's spelled Cheryl, but it's pronounced Cheryl with a SH. Like that's how most people in their daily lives do this stuff anyway. There's nothing wrong with it. This is just like the more technical way. So yeah. If you can't tell it should be exactly, no one can. Like the very exact data that each language has never properly matches with what these IPA symbols do. And it's not true for like a lot of languages. Like for consonants, for example, you can record using like X-rays and MRIs what's happening inside the mouth. But tone is very precise. And yeah, it's not only true for tone. It's also very true for vowels. Like the choice of symbols for vowels is slightly arbitrary. There's ones that are better and ones that are worse. But yeah. So we've graduated from two-tone world. We're going up to 3.
Okay.
So the classic example of a language with 3 register tones is Yoruba. And you can see it so at the top in the title. That's how you would spell Yoruba in Yoruba if you're using like their way of writing it. And then in the do you know what a register tone is?
Nope.
Okay. Register tones and contour tones, the difference actually isn't as big as some people seem to like to make out, as I've already shown, like the example before. Like but a register tone is basically usually defined in terms of height. So
Okay.
you'll have a high tone versus a low tone. In the end, I didn't end up going with Croatian in the presentation because I couldn't find good enough examples. But Croatian and the other Serbo-Croatian languages, they just differentiate rising tone from falling tone.
Okay.
And that would be considered that's called contour tones. And then you get languages with mixtures that we'll come to shortly.
Okay.
So you can see with this is the IPA for Yoruba. So you can see you have the J, which makes the Y sound, and the R, that's like the R in pero in Spanish. It's like the very light tapped R.
Okay.
So it's Yoruba.
Okay.
Yoruba. Although I don't think that's how. I'm trying to think how my Yoruba friends say Yoruba. Yoruba. Like, I think that when they speak English, they don't use the tones, which is
Oh.
also very normal because,
Okay.
I mean, unless you're using the word, like, I think it would be strange if a Chinese speaker were to, like, call out to someone and didn't use the right tone for the word to refer to them. But at the point that you're using the word as like a loan word, I don't think it's the same. So yeah, the actual reality of how Yoruba is pronounced is a lot more complicated and would involve a lot more diacritics. And I didn't want to do that with you. So
Okay.
I was just like, no.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
But okay, we've got some minimal pairs. Do you know what a minimal pair? You know what a minimal pair is, right?
No.
Okay, a minimal pair is where you have 2 words and there's only one difference between them.
Okay.
So here we have, don't worry about the orthography unless it's helpful. I think for the linguists, the IPA is the most helpful. So you can see there's a I, so that makes a E sound. You have your sh, and this one that looks like a 3. So it's an E sound, and by that I mean like the letter E, so But whereas in Spanish, there's only 5 vowels, right? A, I, U, E, O. So in Yoruba and in languages like Italian, for example, you have 2 vowels in the middle. So you have like on the front you have I, E, A, basically.
Okay.
So this is ishe,
Ishe.
ishe, and
Ishe.
then the other one is ishe, 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 ishe. Yeah, it's quite tricky for me even
Okay.
because I think like the later syllable is easier to distinguish.
Mm,
So maybe like going slowly will help. But yeah,
okay.
like ishe, ishe. No, ishe. And it's also because I know that that's not actually how you say it in Yoruba, but this is just for the demonstration.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the top one is like ishe,
Yep.
and the bottom one is ishe.
I think you did better than I did, honestly. I genuinely think you did better than I did.
We gotta stop here then. I've got
You've got it. You've got it.
it.
Okay.
Oh.
I think Mars is also going to enjoy this minimal pair. This is just what I got provided in the dictionary, in the grammar, I mean. So it's,
Uh-huh.
are you saying cult or are you saying plate?
Oh my gosh. It reminds me
So,
of what was I was listening to one of those little like shorts from a comedy where they were talking about like was it Chinese? I can't remember what language it was, but something where like asking someone for was it like strawberries or something? If you say it like with the wrong tone or something, it like is like asking to do inappropriate things to someone's sister or something like that.
mhm.
That's what that makes me think of, which I think is funny.
Yeah, I think that's probably it sounds like Chinese.
Yeah.
But like a lot of tonal languages play with these distinctions, right? So
Mm,
like Japanese loves a pun where you have two words that the only difference is the tone.
okay.
So we have our. So this u is
Oh,
like um, there's also two o sounds in Yoruba. It's like it's the same as like the front, but at the back.
mm,
So it's like u is the highest.
oh,
U,
okay.
o, and then you
Oh,
get back to ah. So
okay.
as long as your u doesn't sound like o, you're fine.
Okay.
So awu and awu.
Awu and then awu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then our last one has got the o. So they're both o, owo. And you can see the one below, it looks like a little face.
It does look like a little face. I'm very distracted by the fact that I'm just like, we're doing emojis here.
So so you have owo and owo.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's also because in Korean the u vowel, like the closer o sound, is blending into the u sound. So I think it's really like hard for me to like
Yeah.
point it. But yeah,
So awu,
no,
awu,
they're both o.
ah, awa.
The vowel should sound the same.
Okay. Can you say it again?
Owo, no, owo, owo, because you're going from mid tone to low tone. It
Okay.
might be easier to do it the other way around. So owo, owo.
Okay.
That's your low,
Owo,
double low.
owo, owo,
O.
o, owo,
Yeah, owo.
owo,
Yeah, good.
owo.
Owo.
Okay.
And then
Owo.
you want the first one to be higher than the second one. So
Mm.
owo.
Owo.
Yeah. That sounded I think it's hard because I think we're also putting stress on it, and stress in
Mm.
English comes with slightly higher tone.
Mm.
Magpie saying if you don't have the court merger, which obviously I don't, it's the vowel in court.
If you don't have the merger. So like if those aren't the same,
Yeah,
so caught and caught.
I think that you have it.
Okay.
I think those sounded the same to me.
Caught, caught. I guess they're slightly different if I try and
They're
really
slightly different.
enunciate them, but
I think I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. Now we're doing a little Korean bit, which I think that you'll be excited for.
I am excited for. I
Uh,
watch more Korean TV than I do English TV.
You have to be prepared for some weird vowel signs.
Well, I'm bad at normal vowels, so I'll just be bad at all of them. So we'll
Okay.
be great.
So basically, in short, like Middle Korean had like a series of tones, and then Modern Korean got rid of them in Seoul, but like
Mhm.
they stayed in some of the countryside. Oh, and also it's not just the countryside. Like, have you seen in dramas that like people from Busan are considered to speak weird?
I think so. That sounds
So part of
familiar.
what's happening is that people in Busan have retained a tonal system.
Ah, okay.
And then in Seoul now, there's a new tone system. So I'm going to show you that as well.
Okay.
Um, so, oh, I think the font's different. I don't know what's happened. Anyway, I'm like, did I do that?
I don't know.
No, that's not the font. Anyway, so don't worry about the Hangul. I'm not going to make you read the Hangul. And
One
also,
day.
the romanization, I put it in because I think it might be interesting, but like you'll see when we get to the phonetic bit
Mm.
that like I didn't choose that font for the Korean.
That font chose you.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan, I think is making a joke, and I completely got the wrong tone. So,
Yeah.
um, you can see with this one that
Mm.
basically you have one or two high tones on each word. So
Mm.
that's the little up acute.
Mm.
And you can see in Myanuri, then the the high tone is on Mya.
Okay.
In the second one, in Amani, this is pronounced quite differently to how you would pronounce it in Seoul. So I'm following what the IPA says because I trust it.
Okay.
um, so that's Amani. And then the last one, the accent is on the last syllable, wanami. And then in the last one, you can see that the accent is over the first two syllables. So orabi, orabi.
Okay.
So when you look at that, I suspect that in the first word, you don't know the one that looks like a curly W.
Yeah.
So that's the vowel. So it's we don't have it in English really. Some people say we make it when you differentiate roses from roses, but I don't think I make that distinction.
Yeah, it does sounded the same to me.
Yeah, it's the kind of like like I feel like
Like,
if you try and say you'll get there.
uh,
Yeah, it's basically
okay.
yeah.
Uh.
uh. Like
Okay.
basically, um, if you the key thing is it's kind of like if you say like ooh, but with
Ooh.
your lips not rounded. So like if you're smiling, like uh, uh, uh.
Uh.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Do you remember the upside down E?
Is that just the
Yeah, that's the schwa.
Okay.
But remember that for Korean, for this dialect of Korean, you have to differentiate and
Okay.
Yeah, that's why when you Romanize it, it looks like that because the vowels are strange.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to learn the like Korean pieces of the songs from
Mm-hmm.
K-pop Demon Hunters, obviously, and I found some of the lyric videos that have the romanizations of it. But some of it, like if you just tried to like phonetically pronounce it, matches, and some of it, it's like that does not sound like what they're saying,
Yeah.
which is fun. Okay.
So if you're not so confident with the vowels, it's probably best if I read them and then you copy, and then I'll show you what they do in. So this is from the area that's like north of Busan.
Okay.
So Gyeongsang just means like south. I think it just means southeast.
Okay.
And now I think that's probably not what that means. But that is what it means. It's just not what the individual parts of it mean. But anyway,
Mm. Okay.
um, also I think I've spelled it wrong. Or no, I think the IPA is right. I think it should be Yongsan, and I've cut the G off.
Mm.
It's okay. So it north southeast in English doesn't sound like it makes sense. So if you have Korea,
Mm.
you have
Mm.
the southeast region,
Mm.
and it's the northern part of that.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that makes sense. The north of the southeast.
yeah.
Yeah.
So 며느리,
Mianuri.
어머니,
Mani.
어머니.
Mani.
It's the with the schwa sound, like 어머니,
Mani.
어머니.
Mani. I'm
Yeah,
like changing the
어머니.
vowel sound there a little, aren't I? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
원어민.
When they mean.
Yeah. I think it's strange because in English you can't stress schwa usually, although I don't think that's true anymore. But anyway,
Okay.
but so I think it sounds slightly wrong, but
Mm.
it's how Korean works. And then orabi,
Orabi.
yeah, orabi,
Orabi.
yeah. So
Okay.
now we have what happens in Busan, which is in South Gyeongsang, so the southeast.
Okay.
So this one syllable can mean guest, hand, or grandchild. In practice, it doesn't really because you usually wouldn't um, say it like this, but we're going with it.
Okay.
So Sony, Sony, and Sony.
Okay.
So repeat after me.
Okay.
Sony,
Okay. Sony.
Sony,
Sony.
Sony. I think
Sony.
I changed the vowel. I think I changed the
I think
vowel.
so.
Sony,
Sony.
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 Yeah, it's also I is the S retracted. Um, in Korean, there isn't a difference between S and like sh, and sometimes the S sounds more retracted, and sometimes it sounds like a alveopalatal, which we'll get to in a bit. Um, but I don't know. I'm conscious that like I'm most familiar with the next dialect of Korean, which is the Seoul dialect. Um, and yeah, So
To be
I
snooty.
I think that like when you look at this, it's gonna look a bit scary, right?
I am, in fact, scared.
So you've got the Hangul, you've got the romanization, and you've got the phonetic one, and none of them look like they should be right, if I'm right. Like you're like, what's this double J doing? What are the dots under the T doing? What's this little curly C thing? Like none of it seems like it should be making sense.
I don't know. I have no idea.
You've also got this tiny little H there. Like what's going on? So these are alveopalatals, and basically like this is why Pinyin looks really crazy. It's because of these sounds. So
I'm a king.
basically what you have to do is you put your the way I was taught for Chinese is you put your tongue like just behind your bottom teeth and you make like a t sound.
T.
Yeah.
T. Okay.
So the first syllable for these is ta.
Ta.
Ta. Ta. Yeah.
Ta.
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 So you can see that that sounds quite different to an English like cha,
Cha.
right?
Ta.
Ta. Cha.
Yeah.
Ta.
It's like a TSA, but the S is like really little.
Yeah. So a different way of writing it would be TS and like a tiny J.
Okay. Ta.
So like
Okay.
cha. Cha.
Cha.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing you didn't cover when you did consonants was phonation. So what that H means is that when you say the consonant, you like produce a little puff of air. And if you put your hand in front of your mouth, you'll feel it. And we do this in English.
Okay.
So if you say like bat and then pat, you'll
Bat
feel that when
versus
you say
pat.
bat, you don't feel the puff of air. And if you say
Right.
pat, you produce the puff.
Yeah. Pat. Is that not just because it's like the P is like that plosive kind of?
Both P and B are plosive consonants.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So when in English, I think that we get taught plosives are the ones that are like with the puff of air. But it's not true. That's not how it works in linguistics.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So what these are is that I feel bad. I think this was the right example still though, because the other ones were just one syllable. And I think it's easier to hear the difference over two syllables.
Yeah.
So we're going to do, so this first one, it's you do the puff of air but low tone. And then the second syllable is da, high tone. And the da is the same for all of them.
Okay.
So
it's like
you were nearly there, and then you were like, "Let me do."
I'm like, oh, you say it.
Tada,
Okay. Tata.
tada.
Tata.
Yeah, tada.
Tata.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm making it louder.
It will feel like that for us because in English, that's what we do.
Okay.
Ideally, like, and also because we're just like saying the word out of context. Like, if I said like 오늘을 안 찾아, like I haven't like I'm not sleeping today. Well, it's not really what that would be saying, but anyway, like it'd be today I don't sleep.
Okay.
It's 안 자고 있어. Like you can hear you don't hear it sounding particularly strange because
Mm.
it's in the context of everything else.
Mm.
And also this only affects the first two syllables of each word.
Okay.
So the next one is that you want both high tone, but you don't produce the air puff for the
Okay.
first syllable. So it's 짜다,
타다.
짜다.
타다.
I can't
타다.
hear properly if you're making the air or not. So if you put your mouth hand there, so
Mm.
짜다,
타다. 타다.
짜다.
타다.
If you, I
I don't
trust you.
think I
If
am.
you're not aspirating,
I
that
don't
you'll
think
tell
so.
me if you are or if you aren't.
Okay. I don't think I am.
Okay, cool. And then the next one, I want to really hear the aspiration for 차다,
타다.
차다.
타다.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's 5 vowels and adjectives that you can now differentiate. Now, I want to go back to Kat's comment. Did
Okay.
t merge with t and lead to tonogenesis? Yes, essentially. The It used to be that the dada was pronounced like I just did, where it's not aspirated at all. Which is why we spell it with a J in romanization, because it sounds a bit like quite a lot like a J in English. So jada, jada, chada. I think I went slightly Americanish. Anyway, I feel like I was like flapping the D, like chada. I don't think there's a way to make it sound right. Anyway, so the romanization is based on like one specific dialect at one specific time, and
Mm.
like that's all changing now. So it's kind of strange. And then on top of it, you have prosody.
Okay.
Um, so basically, when you hear the pitch overall, um, like you'll see these like peaks, and I've got an example on the PowerPoint. And so this is what to me sounds really characteristically Korean, is this pattern that you get of the pitch going up and down. So I will read the IPA. Do not worry, I'm not going to ask you to read this, but I just thought I would include it so that you can kind of see what's going on, because when you hear Korean, it doesn't sound like Mandarin or
Mm.
like Yoruba, but
Mm.
it does have this tonal effect. So uh, 영화는 이모랑 이모부. Also, I'm not good at this, so I'm just reading it, and then I'll try and do it properly. I'm going to do a
Mm.
first read, and then I'll try and do it with the thing. So
Okay.
I'll copy it. 영화는 이모랑이 모부랑 영화관에 간대요. Um, if you like if you listen to Korean, like when you watch your next K-drama, if you
Mm.
listen for this up and down intonation, you'll hear
Mm.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I can already just from you saying it, like I not that I could ever say it out loud, please don't make me, but like I'm just thinking through like lots of the common phrases that I have no idea what they actually mean. I know what they say at the bottom, but like ones and how they like yes.
Yeah. And to Greg's point, this is another case where the IPA is annoying because I don't think that the alveolar palatals in Korean and Polish are pronounced exactly the same, or the ones in Chinese, and certainly the retroflex are very different. But yeah. Okay, we've got to the second part.
Okay.
This is kind of the third part if you count the intonation teaser.
Okay.
So, what are tone letters and when do we use them?
I don't know.
So, the IPA originally had these diacritics, right? And they worked quite well for a lot of people. But for Chinese, like for Chinese linguists in particular, there was a sense that like Chinese languages weren't able to be as easily represented as Western languages, which is true. Certainly, the fact that like we have P and B as separate characters, but Pa and Ba, like the Pa and Pa are only differentiated by diacritics, kind of is like a favoring of Western distinctions over Chinese ones. I've also just spotted that I left in a length mark rather than a colon after pinyin, which really annoys me because it's what happens if I use my IPA keyboard. Anyway, pretend that's not there. So they were developed by someone called, and I will refer to the pinyin, Zhao Yuanren. Zhao Yuanren. No, run. I am not as good as at Mandarin as I used to be, and I apologize to everyone who's going to be triggered by my pronunciation because it's really, I'm trying my best. And have you heard of the lion eating poet in the stone den?
No.
It's this poem where the title, now I'm worried and I want to get the title up. It's sure. That was terrible, but anyway, like it's all sure. Also, like the syllable is pronounced differently in different dialects.
Oh no.
Yeah, like really, like this is very top level. Like don't.
That's okay.
Yeah. So basically, like the Sinitic languages, and it's kind of awkward to talk about because you have like an accepted mainland Southeast Asian language area. So how much do you know about language areas?
I know that they like exist.
You know they exist. Okay.
Yeah.
So language areas are like actually quite strictly defined often, and it's usually like a smaller area. And to say like the Chinese mainland Southeast Asian language area is drawing this circle around a really densely populated part of the world and like putting loads of languages. I say are quite strictly defined often. There's a lot of people who don't use it in a strictly defined way, and I think that that's a bad thing. Because to make a generalization of isolating short words and lexical tone is actually not that many features. It's just two things that also tend to have a causal relationship. So tone usually comes about from a loss of either syllables or distinctions, which makes words shorter, and in doing so also limits the possibilities for you to have suffixes and things. And so it's not really like the best use of the terms, but I'm calling it this because it links the two examples. And there are some. So Cantonese is considered a better fit for the mainland Southeast Asian zone. Mandarin is spoken like quite a lot further north and in the west of China, right? And that area there are enough languages between them that I think that there is considered to be some more like space there. And yeah, as Magpie's joking, the Zapotecan languages are actually part of the Chinese mainland Southeast Asian language area. Yeah, no. There are typological similarities that will come up in these languages, which are why using tone letters makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I'm going back to the classics. Are you aware of the ma example for Mandarin? No. Okay. So on everyone's like first day of Chinese class, this example gets wheeled out as the example of like the 4 or 5 tones in Mandarin. So you have ma, 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 ma. So ma is mother. Ma is hemp, or ma cao is cannabis. Ma is horse. And when I went to get the character for horse on my Chinese input, it came up with the horse emoji, and I thought I'm gonna put that in as the example.
I mean, it's funny.
And then ma is the fourth one.
Okay.
So if you repeat after me, ma.
Okay. Ma.
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 Oh no, I used the wrong character, and I can't edit it. Oh no, sorry, I should have realized. Yeah, it's Cat's comment has the correct one.
Okay.
Please forgive me.
It's okay.
Are there more? Oh no! Oh no! Ah!
There's panic in the chat.
Have you seen the Oh no video?
No.
Okay, we'll have to show you afterwards.
Okay.
Jonathan made an amazing remix of me having the exact same panic. Okay.
That does sound delightful.
Okay. So let's do the second tone.
Okay.
Ma.
Ma.
Ma. Let's get the hands up. We'll also let's avoid looking weird. Ma.
Ma.
Third, ma.
Ma.
And so my teacher was from Beijing, and I think it's more common in Beijing than some other places. But we get some can you do vocal fry?
I don't know.
It's associated with people from California, and girls, so the really the way you hear that interference with the vowel. If
Okay.
you don't know it, it's going to be hard to replicate, which will mean that my evil challenge at the end is going to be extra evil.
I feel like I could probably do it. Maybe.
Okay. So that's ma, and then
Ma.
ma,
Ma.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to worry about the last one because it was too complicated. Oh, and so this diagram, this sort of thing, is what Chow developed. So he was like one of the first people to make this sort of diagram. But in reality, like the tones don't all last the same length. So this
Okay.
is one of the real kind of differences that you get is
Mm.
that if you have register tones, also I can see that people are messaging me. Okay. So like the one at the top, the 5 is the highest pitch.
Okay.
So ma,
Ma.
and the yellow one is ma. It's the 4th
Ma.
tone, and those
Ma.
are both short. Also, they're not notifications. It's just like the thing above the logo that
Oh,
I
the
can't
little.
ignore. Yeah. Um, then the rising tone is actually slightly longer than those two. So ma.
Ma.
And then the last one is the dipping tone. And the reason there's this little squiggle underneath is because these low tones are commonly patterned with this vocal fry or glottalization I was telling you about.
Okay.
So it's like without it, it'd be like ma. I think I'm already doing it, but it's the like ah
Ma.
ah
Ma.
ah ah ah. It's
Okay.
in. I'm gonna go with my like less technical terms. You're kind of constricting loosely your throat,
Uh-huh.
so it's kind of tighter.
Mm.
Um, and I used to remember why it was associated with low tone, and now I can't. So I'm gonna leave it.
That's
Basically,
okay.
I think it's that to produce the low tone, you're already kind of restricting or something. I feel like restriction would make it higher.
Okay.
The whole relationship is kind of complicated because um, glottal sounds, so like the glottal stop and H, like ha and ah,
Mm.
they can both produce either high or low tone depending on just what the language feels like doing.
Mm. Okay.
Um, okay, we've got about half an hour until like my personal like we need to finish point.
Okay. Yeah, half an hour to you we need to finish, and then
And
I
then
think we're
there's one
about.
last half an hour for like final rushing.
Yeah. I think my husband just entered the state.
Oh,
I can see him. We have our location shared, so I can
mhm.
track him, tell when he's getting close. He's
You can
bringing my
give him
kids
like
back home.
nah.
Well, honestly, what'll happen is the door will slam, and all of a sudden, both my kids will be like from
¿Cuál?
downstairs. Yeah.
Cuchi cuchi. Okay, so um, basically, yeah. I feel like all of my points have been like pre-commented,
Okay.
but so you also have these languages like Northern Vietnamese where the tone is mixed with other things like phonation,
Okay.
um, and it makes it kind of difficult to split the two, but the phonation we know isn't strictly tone. So there's kind of two phenomena going on. Wikipedia had an article about register complexes, but I read the article and it didn't clear anything up for me. So I was like, and there aren't that many resources. So this is like a very classic. No, this is less classic, I think, than the usual one. So this is like, if my charts were properly done, they would look more like this.
Okay.
So you see that you have time at the bottom and the frequency on the side. And the words here are the names for the tones. And very conveniently, the names for the tones are the same as the tones that they describe.
Convenient.
Imagine if, due to sound changes, the letters that you're describing have names that don't use the sounds in them. Imagine.
Wow, what a concept.
Wow. So you have nga'a is this pink one. Nga'a. Do you want to try and say it? I mean, you can choose whether or not, because I have minimal pair examples coming up next. So
we can wait for the minimal pair examples, I think, because I feel like I'm trying to like absorb and like really listen to how you're saying it.
So you can see like in the middle of the pink line, there's this squiggle.
That's the glottal stop, right?
Yay!
Thank you, thank you.
So when I say nga'a, you can hear the glottal stop in the vowel, right? You can hear that it breaks. So that's quite specific to the this tone. And when I brought this up with David before, and he was like, "That's not tone," but for Northern Vietnamese, that's one of the ways that you can tell, like you distinguish that tone from this next one I'm going to do, which is also rising. Sir. I love how Vietnamese sounds. I know for a lot of people, it sounds kind of ugly. And also the romanization, it's not romanization, the orthography really doesn't make sense. There's like a lot of diacritics going on. The letters don't sound like they should. We'll get you some IPA soon.
Yeah.
And that's the rising tone. So, ngang, ngang. That's a flat tone. Quite often, I feel like people usually think that the flat tone would be mid, although that might just be like a false pretense that I have. Like in Mandarin, like it's kind of high. And then this one, I'm trying to remember what it gets called. Well, I know the Vietnamese name is Nung, Nung, Nung. You can see that like the line is noticeably shorter, and it usually has like a glottal stop at the end. So compared with like ngang, ngang, this is ngung, ngung, ngung. I think I'm doing it right. I already took Vietnamese for like 2 terms, so I think I got all right with the pronunciation, but I'm not like native speaker anywhere close. And then you have this dipping one, hoi, hoi, where it goes down and then it comes up again, which is like the third tone in Mandarin. And I know that hoi means ask. So it's kind of like when you're asking a question.
Mm.
And then
Okay.
this falling tone is hween, hween, which I always think you just have to sound really depressed
Yeah.
because it starts low and it just goes lower.
It does kind of sound like that. Mm.
Hween. Yeah. So it's like you're sad from Inside Out or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like I
Oh
feel like
god.
she always has this kind of low falling tone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so IPA tension. Okay,
Implosive.
implosives. So
Okay.
with Russ, you went through like the pulmonic consonants.
Yeah.
So basically, those are the ones where the air comes out of your lungs, like
Okay.
normal. And I say
Mm.
normal, I probably mean like on average. But yeah,
Like it's normal for me and how I speak.
and also yeah, normal for a lot of people.
Mm.
Um, so implosives are kind of pulmonic and kind of ingressive, but an ingressive just means that the air is moving into your mouth.
Okay.
So basically, what you're doing is you're closing part of your mouth, and
Mm-hmm.
you make like a vacuum in your mouth.
Mm.
Um, you don't have to think about doing it once you know what it should sound like.
Okay.
I taught myself these by imitating Vietnamese people, which sounds bad, but I didn't do it maliciously and I didn't do it to their faces. I just practiced a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so again, like, well done to you for learning this, like, with an audience, because you have to sound
Mache this
kind
here
of
for
silly.
everyone.
Also, I don't want to go through all of them because they get harder to do the further
Mm.
through you go, and we
Okay.
only need the B and the D sound.
Okay.
So in modern Vietnamese, there's no normal B sound. The only B is implosive,
Okay.
and it sounds like ba, ba.
Okay.
Um, so you close your lips,
Mm.
and I actually I can't speak after I've closed my mouth. And you kind of you you don't have to think about it after a while, but you just it's like if I think about it, it's like you make the area inside your mouth a bit bigger so that there's less air in it. Or there's the same amount of air, but there's more space to fill up. And then when you say it, it's like you let the air in and you say the B at the same time. So like B, B. It's easier with a vowel. I can't
I
hear
mean,
you.
it's I can't. I'm trying to hear in this sound. Like
Like,
I'm just confused because it kind of just sounds like it's like "beh" or like "beh" or
yeah.
"beh."
So
I
this
don't know.
is the example we're going to use. So it's ba, ba,
Ba
ba,
ba
ba.
ba.
Yeah, I think you're getting closer.
Okay.
Also, apparently some English speakers have implosives. I don't know
Do we?
who. I've not heard
Do a
it.
hi? Also, hi, George. Some
Implosives in
Southern
my
American speakers.
English, it's more likely than you think. um, ah, so it would be like boy,
Or like bag.
doll, I
I feel like
girl,
it's like to be saying like something like bag.
bag.
Although that gets a little bit like a Maybe? I mean, I don't really know what I'm
Maybe.
talking about. So like, oh. Give us an example, George. Example words. And then we'll say it with a southern accent and see what happens. Not that I
Yeah.
can do a southern accent, but we'll try. I
I
mean, I did
also
spend the whole
apologies to
weekend.
all the Americans for me trying to do a southern accent. I don't think I did very well.
I think it's fine. Although I spent all weekend with some people with pretty strong southern accents, so maybe I can like
Mm.
embrace
You just
it.
need a microphone in the middle of your conversations and be like, "Can I hear your B's, D's, and G's, please?"
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'll read through all six, and then we can go through. So
Okay.
ba 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 ba
Okay.
ba 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 ba. I did the fifth one as the fourth one. Um, Also, this representation isn't really what I'm used to. I know it has a glossal thing at the end. I think they're
Mm.
trying to represent a vocal fry, like ba
Mm.
ba ba. Um, I'm doing too much dipping. It's ba 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 ba. Anyway,
Okay.
the key thing is that you don't really need to know how to say it even. The
Okay.
important thing is that you understand that like the IPA here is useful for this because you have like all these different tones that do
Mm.
all of these weird things. Well, they're not weird is probably too judgmental for linguistics, but like they're making all of these different patterns
Mm.
and you need to be able to differentiate them, and you don't have like a whole bunch of like long words being broken
Mm.
up because you put these tone letters in between the syllables, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Um, um, do you want to try saying them?
Sure.
Okay, so ba
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 ba. This is the depressed one. Ba
ba
ba. Yeah.
ba
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 ba. Yeah.
ba
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 ba.
ba. Yeah. I This is why I love Northern Vietnamese, because in Southern Vietnamese, this last tone, the broken tone, it's pronounced the same as the rising tone. So
Mm, mhm,
residue and to embrace be pronounced the same.
mhm,
They would both be
okay.
ba. Um, and we've got more. So um, in closed syllables, so where you have a final consonant,
Mm,
the um, the vowel, like the only tones that are permissible. Permissible is the wrong word. It makes it sound like there's a kind of ethical requirement. Basically, the only ones you get are this rising tone and the short falling tone. And it sounds like for someone learning the language, all you have to do is a high tone versus a low tone.
okay,
So that's all I'm going to ask for you to do. So
okay.
back, but
Back,
sorry, it should be a
but
long ah. So back, but
back, back.
so the little like corner next to the K means that you don't release the K. So you don't finish saying it, you just kind of let it sit in your mouth. So it's back, not back, back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back. Oh wait, back.
That was good.
I feel like I had to like very
Yeah.
intentionally like not like I guess aspirate the k at the end.
The K, like final consonants, like final plosives in Korean also do this.
Okay.
So like if you think of like I'm trying to think of an example now. Like it's stupid, but in Taebak, like
Okay.
it's like awesome. Taebak.
Okay.
So you don't release the final K.
Weird.
So we
Okay.
have hop and hop. Hop, hop.
So it's yeah, okay, and it has that same little
Yeah. So it's the same thing, but with the P. So it's not hop. It doesn't sound like English hop. It's hop, hop.
hop, hop.
Hop, hop.
That's hard to like focus on. Hop, hop. It's weird.
Hop, hop.
Hop, hop.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Okay. Now I couldn't be on without showing you this little thing with the K and the P that are next to each other.
Okay.
So these are labial velar consonants,
Right.
and they mostly occur in Africa. So you get like a bunch of cases where you get like a GB sound in African languages. That's the voiced version, and
Okay.
this is the unvoiced version. So you can see like it looks like it should be lock, lock. But what you say is lock, 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 lock. So this is the evilness rating is going up with each language.
Lao. Lao.
Low? Yep.
Lao. It sounds it's like LOW and then like the stopped K. I don't get the P part, but
Low. If
oh, I
it
guess
was
I can hear it a
low,
little bit.
low, 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 low. It's not very distinct, and some people say it more like just a final P. So they would say it like low, low, low,
Lao.
because in theory, if there's the tie bar, you say them like at the same time, but there's basically always a slight timing overlap. So while you say the K, you should be saying the P. But anyway, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
And now I think that I've timed this perfectly
Okay.
because we're on to the final example. So we're leaving East Asia because we're back in South America. You can
Okay.
tell what my personal interests are. So Ticuna is spoken like on the area where Colombia, Peru, and Brazil all three meet. And many South American languages have simple tone systems. If you remember the map, there's basically only 2 red dots, and this is one of them.
Okay.
In the orthography, you can see that like they use numbers.
Oh boy.
The numbers get very confusing very quickly because I think this follows the Asian tradition where the smaller the number is, the lower it is, and the high numbers are high tones. But in Africa, many people use the other way around. So 1 is high tone and 5 is low tone. which gets very confusing very quickly.
Okay.
These are like very small differences, and I'm basically using this to like show you and the people at home, like you can make very fine differences with your tones.
Yeah.
But it's also worth recognizing that some linguist has gone through loads of data trying to find examples where these syllables are differentiated. So most of the time, it's not as confusing as this.
Okay.
Like how often are you referring to like, Dad, are you full or are you dry? Like,
Right.
I'm tired, cling on. like, like you know that in reality, this is not really how it's going to be um, a usual comparison.
Yeah.
So it's like pa, 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 pa.
Okay.
So pa, pa,
Pa. Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa,
Pa.
pa. Or
Pa.
I guess it's gonna sound like the depressed one, like pa, pa,
Pa.
no, pa. So
Pa.
it's got the glottal restriction going on with the low,
Mm.
very low tone, pa.
Pa. Pa.
So, okay, IPA. You see the little thing underneath the T?
It looks like it has a little stool.
Yeah. The little stool means that basically it just means that your tongue touches your teeth when you pronounce that. So it's
Okay.
two. So
Two.
two. I feel like I
Two.
suddenly put like a Chinese accent on it. Two. Two.
Two.
Two.
Two.
Two. Yeah.
Two.
Two. Two.
Two.
Two.
Two.
Two. Sorry, I'm trying to like calibrate myself because trying to do like the high to low and the mid to low is really hard to distinguish for me.
Yeah.
So two, two, yeah. Do you want to try? So
Sure.
two,
Two.
two,
Two.
yeah, and then just usual low and flat two, two, two,
Two.
and
Two.
then we're going for the glottal two, two, two,
Two.
two,
Two.
two. Yeah,
Two.
we'll move on. So, and now it's not a T, it's a N.
Okay.
And the little thing under the I basically just means it doesn't get its own tone. So,
Okay.
nai, nai,
Nine.
and then
Nine.
how people differentiate this, I'm really not sure. I think it's because the six is like the very highest tone. So probably
Mm.
like nai, nai,
Nine.
is nai,
Nine.
nai, like,
Nine.
and then nai,
Nine.
then nai, nai,
Nine.
and then I didn't write the glottalization in. Also, I'm doing my peering. I love like really looking at the screen. So it's like nai,
Nine.
nai.
Nine.
And then final one. So it's your old favorite, the alveopalatal. So cho,
Cho.
cho,
Cho. Cho.
cho, cho,
Cho.
cho, cho, cho. I feel like I'm not doing it right. We're in like a real dangerous zone here where like nothing really makes sense anymore.
Oh my gosh.
And then like the reason I chose this example is because it distinguishes like all the other ones. Like Tikuna has what I thought was one glottalized tone that was like low, but they actually have this one example where you have two words where they're both glottalized, and the only difference is whether it's really low or just low. So
That's
it's
kind
like
of fun.
chaw, chaw, and then chaw.
That's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I. Yeah, that's the end of the PowerPoint.
I feel like I understand it so much. Like, could I just like do a thing with the tone? Like, no. But
Oh,
I feel like
okay.
I
Do you
conceptually
want to make us
understand this a
big
lot better.
again?
Oh yeah, yeah. Boom.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you were saying.
But yeah, I feel like this makes a lot more sense. Like, even just generally how they work at a high level. And I do like when the symbols have some sort of sense and patterning behind them. Like, that's a lot more reasonable
Mm.
than some other IPA shenanigans I've seen. Like, even the tonal letters, like, the patterns all kind of like,
Yeah, they
I
match up.
vibes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely
So
vibes.
yeah, tone isn't scary. That's the big like I've shown you what scary tone looks like, and you don't
Uh-huh.
have to go anywhere near that.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it was way worse than that.
I think a lot of it has to do with people. I think a flock of geese just flew past.
It sounded like geese.
Wait, you could hear the geese? Did the people
Yes.
at home hear the geese? Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Oh yeah, the 6 in my 5-level tone increase. Okay. So um what was I saying again? I think that it's
Uh,
because Chinese is difficult for a lot of reasons. Like
mhm,
Chinese is the language everyone knows as the tonal language.
mhm,
And basically, like because the tones are difficult, but it's a thing that once you learn them and you can regularly hear them and pronounce them, it's not the hardest thing.
mhm,
Um, the so there are other parts of like isolating languages in general are actually not too different from English,
mm,
but because of the different structures and the fact that there's very little shared vocabulary, you have a lot of reasons to make Chinese sound difficult and tone is attributed to it.
mhm.
But we
Okay.
know, for example, that like Japanese, because of the multiple pronunciations of characters, for many people will take longer to learn than Chinese.
Mm,
And
didn't
so
even know that.
even though the phonology is a lot easier for English speakers to pick up, in general, because Japanese also has tone, and it's a real pain to represent in IPA as well. But yeah,
That's
like
cool.
I think that once you know what you're listening out for, you can hear it.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, watch more ice shows and just be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I can use this as my hint to get some better, like I wonder okay, here's what number 4 will be, the 4th one in IPA class time. It
Hmm.
will be turning all the Korean bits of K-pop Demon Hunter songs into the IPA so I can learn the Korean raps.
Well,
Part
if you
4.
want someone to help, then I'm willing to help you.
Yes, I do. I've been trying so hard. I've been like slowing the songs down and just listening to it like, what are they saying? But it's all like
Yeah.
kind of smooshed together because they're saying it so fast. And like, I feel like once you know what they're saying, then you can hear the. And then I
So
can
did
beat my
you
husband
feel,
at it.
looking at the Korean examples in the presentation, that the
Mhm.
IPA was helpful?
I think so. Compared to like combined with the would you the orthography?
The romanization.
The romanization. Yeah, I mean, I feel like combined with that, it helps. I mean, would I have to look up every single character beforehand? Yeah. But I could get their event, like I could memorize little pieces once I can like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think I'm glad that you're feeling excited and motivated. And I think that once you see the IPA in action, it makes a lot of sense why you would learn it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does.
I
Oh, it
think that
does.
before you start looking at examples of it in use, you're like, why do I need to learn all of these silly characters? And then you learn it and
Mm.
you're like, oh my God, I can read so many things. And it's
Yeah.
the same. It's like
Mm.
always the same.
Yeah,
Well,
there's still like a gap that like I'm trying to still bridge in my head between like enjoying this deeper understanding of it and the pronunciation and like how it works together and like understanding the especially when you get into vowels, right? Because like
mm,
at least with English, like depending on what other sounds are near, like if you were just trying to pronounce a word that you didn't actually know how it was pronounced, like people could pronounce it a ton of different ways and it would depend on the surrounding sounds and like it's very hard from a I guess conlanging perspective to try and control which sounds would be made. Cause like that was sort of my goal initially when I was making the spell language was that I wanted to remove as much ambiguity as possible. So like anything that like could be pronounced multiple ways, I will add extra letters so it's obvious,
mhm.
or like try and restrict it certain sounds. But like trying to control which vowel sounds come out of it, like is a lot. But then if you worked from IPA first, like that would be that whole thing wouldn't even be a thing anymore. And then it's just
Yeah.
the trying to make that still work and make sense within the context of like I'm conlanging to write in books though that are going to be written with romanizations and I can't expect more from readers than them just looking at it and trying to pronounce it. So like
Mm.
trying to figure out like where I want to end up and how I want to handle it is still a little like
I do
still
think
floating around
that,
up there.
like, if you're using a conlang, you usually, like, you're the only person who will know exactly what you mean.
Mhm.
Um, Even if you invent a name that isn't already existing. And for example, if you wrote a book that was set in an English speaking time and place, and you use a name spelled Graham, you would pronounce that Graham, I'm assuming, and
Yeah.
I would say Graham.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't tell all of your British readers that Graham sounds like a unit of measurement to us.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's kind of a more extreme example of where the names sound really different. But
Mm.
like for example, if everyone who wrote stories set in China was worried about people not pronouncing the name, well, people do provide pronunciation guides,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, not everyone will commit as much into it, the law, as
Mm.
the next person. Like, not
Yeah.
everyone will read them, like, will look at the map in their book, but the people who want to look at the maps will study the maps and will be able to tell if something doesn't make sense, right?
Mhm.
So, like, if you put Romanized Korean into your book, you know that most people aren't going to see an E and an O and think it's pronounced O.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But you wouldn't really have a way to get around it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, from knowing David's perspective, he avoids making choices that would be very difficult to make clear, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't assume that everyone knows what an umlaut does, but it's easy enough that people might know how it works in German for them to differentiate U and Ü, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as we've seen, we don't have an easy way in English to differentiate E and I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you kind of have to pick your battles.
Yeah. So I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. And I'm sure every time I do it, I'll do it a little differently and like how I go about it will change over time. But it's definitely something that I'm thinking about, you know?
That's just learning, isn't it?
Yeah, fair. True.
Because I know that my first conlang was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I'm like, oh my god, why did I do this? Because I wanted so many of these cool sounds, and I wanted to do word classes, and I wanted all of these affixes, and like really, it just wasn't great.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like there's that learning stage of it, like where I feel like building a language with a feature helps understand it so much that if you're like getting into it and trying to understand all these features, then obviously you put all of them in a language.
Mm. But yeah, I think that like 5 years down the line, both of what we do with our conlangs is going to be quite different to where we are
Mm-hmm.
now, and it's really exciting just to see like where we're going and like what's going to come up for us, and like
Mm-hmm.
to be on this journey together. And it's nice to feel like in a position where I can share what I've learned with you, because I remember like not having made a single conlang and watching David's videos and being like, oh my god, it's so cool to see someone talk about tone. And David never made the contour tone video, as far as I
Oh,
remember. He never made it. So
yeah.
this is for you, David. This is the contour tone.
New subtitle.
Yeah.
This is for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's good. Yeah, it'll be very good. It'll be
Well,
cool.
David's said like he has a real interest in register tone languages,
Mm. Mhm.
but he doesn't put them very often in his conlangs. I think because their tonogenesis can be kind of annoying. So that's like
Mhm.
making tone happen.
Mhm.
Um, and it's also just it can be annoying to like have to put diacritics on all of your vowels. It's what I will
Yeah.
say. Like I I have to do it in Pankashku, and it makes the IPA keyboard really useful because you can't just like be like it's a T and write the T. Like you have to use your diacritics properly.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, one last quick question that's sort of related but sort of unrelated before we wrap all this up. So you've mentioned IPA keyboards, and I know somehow people get fancy character like I've never typed an IPA character before.
Okay. I would say that like um to start off with, I would use this online IPA type it because it has like descriptions of what each of the characters mean, and
Ooh,
you don't have
okay.
to download anything.
Okay.
And it does it based on kind of what characters look like.
Okay.
Once you are comfortable using the IPA and you're not going to be worried about like getting it right, like
Yeah.
once you're at that level, I would download like a IPA keyboard for your laptop or whatever. But me and Miles didn't start using it until like a couple of months ago, and we were like doing Let's Have a Booba for like over a year before we got one. So.
Okay. So I could not worry about it. I could just use one of these special site things and start there. Because I do want to like...
There,
yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
I can send you a link for it as well.
Sweet. That would be cool. All right.
Cool.
That's all I have.
Any questions in chat before we say goodbye?
Yeah. Any questions? I feel like we did get one earlier where George sent us something to watch for what is it? Cletus from the Simpsons.
Yeah. I wouldn't know how to pronounce that name. I would be like Cletus.
I don't know. My guess is Cletus, but like I've never seen that name before.
Guess. Particularly because it's an American TV show. I remember when I first started watching Langtime Studio, like I would get so surprised by the American pronunciations of things all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I don't think. Yeah, I think Madeline would have to post the link.
Yeah, if you send it to me on Discord real quick, I can post it in there. Oh wait, you already did. Okay.
I already did. And I can put it in the live stream's Discord channel as well.
There we go. Oh yeah, check out Let's Have a Boba this Tuesday and next.
We're doing a capybara language.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Oh wait, the actual IPA keyboard or the online one? Okay, yeah, the online one was what I wanted. Okay, cool. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and it seems like there's so many different ways to pronounce things across America too. Where there's definitely some people or like some areas that pronounce things real weird.
And then like I'm sure that there must be, just because you have more people, more like individual dialects.
Yeah.
But, like knowing that in the UK we have these like micro accents and things.
Well, like even within like the state I'm from, because like I'm from Maryland, which I don't know which country is like the same size as Maryland. European.
I have been to Maryland.
Right.
Also, I was like, that's not the right vowel for that. It's like Maryland.
Yeah.
Maryland.
There are people in Maryland that pronounce it like that, though. Like there are dialects within my small state, which is apparently about the size of Belgium. I don't know, but like we have little different ways of pronouncing things too. Like the area in Maryland I'm from, like we had like drive your tractor to school day, and we talked a lot more Southern there than like the more urban parts of Maryland. And then if you go out to the east, they talk different, and Southern talks a little different. West, like even within Maryland, it's, and every state has some of their weirdness.
Yeah. Does your throat feel sore? I feel like after trying to do all of the tone,
I feel like a little
really tired. It's like,
yeah. No, I feel that. I
think the glottalization as well. I'm just like not used to like doing vocal fry.
When you're trying to do it as an example too, so I feel like you're enunciating everything a lot more too, which is probably more strenuous.
And like, as I said, with English, we tend to like not open our mouth.
Yeah.
Like, e, o, ooh. Like, quite aware that I have a camera pointing right down my gullet.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun trying to learn IPA on whoever just sees it. It was very funny when Ross was like, I don't see you making these shapes with your mouth, and I was like, ah!
Yeah. It might be more of a British thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we speak a lot. People like talk about speaking at the back of our mouths. We like David talks about like how we have like I think some more distinctions in back vowels or something, or like our back vowels are like tend to be lower.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's interesting to me.
Cool.
It's interesting. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions.
No.
Got the link in there. All right.
Yeah, well, hope to see some of you on Tuesday.
Yes. I'm hoping
Yeah,
now that I'm back
something.
in the land of Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
checking more stuff out. I'm excited. I'm hoping I could pop in. Should be able to. But yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yep, on Tuesday.
And I'm on the Patreon.
Yeah.
There's a Let's Have a Booba Patreon. There's a Madeline James Patreon. I spend
All the
far too
patrons.
long in the Langtime Studios Patreon.
Yeah. I need to look and see if I'm actually in that one, because I had a tendency for a long time of being patrons for people, but then never actually being in the Discord for those people, because it felt weird to me. I don't know. And so I need to actually check and see if I'm, because I feel like I should be one of their patrons. I don't know if I am or not, but I'm definitely not in the Discord. So I'll have to look it up.
No, I haven't seen you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. That was fun. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Watch for stuff. I did. Thank you a lot. That was very helpful and very informative, and hopefully helpful for other people, or at least just entertaining. Watching me attempt to do toads.
You did it. You did it. You didn't just attempt it. You did it.
Okay, thank you. We'll take it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it was fun too. All right. Bye, everybody.